What's up, everyone? This is Gail Dudley with your news in motion. Today is Tuesday, y'all. It is Tuesday, December the 14th, 2021. Let me know who's out there, whether if you're on audio, you just stick with driving to your destination. If you are watching live and you can go in the chat, let me know who's in here this morning. Good morning to all of you. If you're watching live, if you're watching on, I see you, girl. If you're watching on uh, Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, I want to say good morning to you. If you're watching live, I'm just so glad you're here. Y'all, because of the news cycle, we're taking a different direction today. So just bear with us. It's gonna be fun. This is our fun week, if you will. I see you, Kim Edmondson. I see you, Jeffrey Allen James. I see you in there. I see you, Latrice Jones. I see you, girl. She's like, hey. Good morning, Hester. Good morning, Diane Ladybug. Good morning, Dr. Oliver. Good morning, Hazel Johnson. Excuse me. Good morning. Good morning, Kenny Stanley. Good morning. Listen, y'all. Good morning, Deborah Johnson. Good morning, Cherie Brooks. Wallace, good morning. Now, I'm going to tell you all on the front end, since you're the first ones in here, we're going to do something different today. So, if you want to be a part of the show today, just put in there me. Make sure I have your information, or you can go to your your Facebook Messenger, and I will send you the link. Couple rules. You have to have, it's all clean language here. Um, no conspiracy theory, but we want to have what I want to call a mock trial of the January the 6th committee. Yes, I'm putting you on notice right now. Didn't want to prep anybody. So if you want to be a part of that, let me know and I'll patch you in. I will make sure we get you the link. Let me see. Who am I missing here? I see you, Deborah, Cherie, Yvonne, Angela, Pastor Antoinette, Marion Jackson. All of you are tuning in live. So good morning, Katrina. Good morning. So just put in the comment section, I want to come on live, and I will send you right now, Pastor Antoinette, right now. I will send you the link and you can just join in. Now, if you're driving, that's going to be difficult because I need you to keep your eyes on the road. Kim Evans says, oh goodness, Romper Room is going to be in full effect today. We're going to be in full effect today. Yes, we are. We're going to have some fun today. So, and ladies, you ain't got to be all dolled up to get on here. Good morning, Donita. Good morning, Lori Wallace. Yes, I'm doing it. It's not pre-planned. I wanted to go this way. We were going to talk about philanthropy. Pastor Antoinette, stop all that. I'm not camera ready. Girl, just say you want to get on here. Listen, it's not pre-planned. I know we're going to talk about philanthropy today, and I'm going to give you a couple of points on that. But we need to get to this news cycle today, and it's already popping off. We have been looking, I have been doing some research over the past maybe month, but now is the time to bring this out because the stuff hit the fan yesterday. I have full documentations that I'm going to share with you. We have all kinds of stuff that's happening. Good morning, Lori. You don't have to be camera ready. All you gotta say is, I want to be in. We'll send you the link. If not, no problem. I'm going to still read to you what I have. So, y'all, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is Tuesday, December the 14th, 2021. And it's time for some news headlines, although we're taking a little different direction today because this is indeed news. We do want to share that we're still praying for all of those who were in the pathway of those tornadoes this past weekend. The last number I received from Kentucky, looking at their official site, I believe it's 84 deaths. Not real sure about that. So those numbers are still coming in. They're still in a rescue mission with that as well. So we want to continue to pray for them. Good morning, Patricia Lyles. So, y'all, we have a lot going on, but we're so excited about it. And I hope you would just hang out with us. We're going to have fun. Again, if you want to be on live, this is not pre-planned, not at all. All you have to do is put in the chat, I want to come on. We'll send you the link. We'll bring you on. And we're going to be talking about the January 6th committee. January 6th committee. Oh, that is popping off. I have probably 40 pages of notes in front of me. We're not going to get through all of it, but I'm going to really show you all how to connect those dots. Okay. So just hold on, y'all. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
News in motion.
As with yesterday, more and more people are tuning in. I want to say this morning, good morning to Christina and to her mom. They're in New York. You will see more posts coming from Christina from out of New York. We have connected. She's going to be doing some posting for News in Motion and for me and the brand that I have. And so we're really excited about that. When she told me that she tunes in, then she goes, then I go to my mom's and then we tune in together. I just want to say good morning to them. Again, for those of you who are wondering, well, what is this? What's going on? I received the share and so forth. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, we stream live Monday through Friday at 7:25 a.m. Eastern on all platforms. Our main chat is on Facebook, and that's facebook.com/News in Motion. However, you can still find us on YouTube and LinkedIn as well. You can chat there also. So that's happening. So that's our main chat. Now, if you're driving, don't chat. But if you want to get some answers or some links after things that you've heard, all you have to do is come back to the Facebook wall and you will see all of them. On LinkedIn, you only see the chats between the team and yourself, and the same thing on YouTube. So if you want to see all the chat, you have to come on over to the Facebook page. All you have to do is hit like and follow, and you can get in there. Now, how you can assist others in finding us, hit the share button and like and follow this page, the News in Motion page. That's all you have to do. Subscribe to the YouTube by visiting youtube.com/Gail Dudley. And for those of you who are tuning in by audio, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And remember, while you're there, to download and subscribe to Mimosa Fridays. All right, whether you're watching live or the replay, thank you for spending any bit of time that you have with me during your day. I really do appreciate it. Now, we are a different type of news broadcast. We have fun. Somebody say hello. Hello, somebody. We have fun. It's normally straight fire. We just really cut up in here. I read and interact with many people in the chat. That happens, and then we give noteworthy information with relevant commentary and a call to action mixed with the inspirational message. Now, most times our messages will lead to scripture. Oftentimes, we bring the good news along with prayer. So that's that. All right, so this week, we're wrapping up this week before we go on to our break. We will be breaking after we leave the broadcast on Thursday, and we will return on January the 3rd. There will not be anything in Patreon. There will not be any encore presentations, any pre-recorded shows, nothing. We're going on a break, and we're really excited about that. Let me see what some of you are saying in here. Mike Nicholson said, woo, hello. That's right, y'all. That's right. Again, if anybody wants to participate in this January the 6th commentary that I'm getting ready to share, just put in the chat, I want to come on live, and I will send you the link, or somebody will send you the link so that you can join us. Good morning, Judy Neal. Just remember, clean language has to be clean language. All right, let me get to the other news, and then we'll come back to this one. I see Latrice Jones in the virtual waiting room. We're coming, girl. Yeah, I'm telling you, I got about 30 pages of notes. We're not going to get to all of this. But anyway, let me first start with this and give y'all some information. When you want to fact check something, I'm going to give you some commentary from NPR News, okay? Will you host pop-ups in motion? I like that. All right, y'all, you want to pay attention to the URL and the domain. All right, established news organizations usually have their own domains. For example, you will have abcnews.com, but there's another link out there that's called abcnews.com.co. That one's not for real. But, you know, they may put news out there, but they're putting their own spin to it. Okay, so you really want to pay attention to that. Read the About Us section when you're looking at news walls. Most sites will have a lot of information about news outlets, the companies that it run, the members, and the leadership. Check that out. Look at quotes in the story and make sure the quotes are factual, and you can vet those, you can check those out. All right, look at who said them and make sure the spelling of the names are correct. Also, that's another piece. Check the comment sections. You know, there's a lot of fake and misleading information out there. Good morning, Elizabeth. Stories shared on social media platforms. So you always want to do the research. You just don't want to grab it. And then you want to do a reverse image search. All of that stuff, y'all, we're going to do more in-depth teaching on that come January of 2022, January and February. All right, so for news headlines, before we break this down, and I hope y'all in here, I need y'all to have conversation with us today. This is going to be fun. We're having fun this week, but this is some serious news. All right, Time Magazine's Person of the Year is who? Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX. That people are really going in on that one. So, but he got the Person of the Year. $380 million deal with the USA Gymnastics and U.S. Olympic Committee. Larry Nassar's abuse survivors finally reached that deal, and that's $380 million. All right, y'all. Today, this is history. I mean, the whole 2 years has been history, but today we have reached 800,000 deaths when it comes to the coronavirus. The number of reported COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. has projected to pass this 800,000 mark today. Although we landed here today, they're expecting us to pass this today. According to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. Now, the World Health Organization already has the U.S. way beyond 800,000. The mark comes one day after the total number of reported cases hit 50 million. 50 million. Globally, more than 5.3 million deaths have been reported. Roughly 75% of the deaths in the U.S. occurred in patients 65 years and older, a figure that represents about 1 in every 100 older Americans. The current numbers of deaths in fully vaccinated patients is unclear. Good morning, Riakis. The most recent data through early October suggests more than 90% of deaths occurred in unvaccinated patients. So those of you who have vaccines, I'm included in that, we should have a sigh of relief. Davia said this is tough news and it didn't have to be so. I absolutely agree with you, Davia. I absolutely agree with you. Roughly 61% of the U.S. population have been fully vaccinated, not including the booster shots. The other thing that the CDC has put out here, and there's some, Dr. Fauci's a little bit pushing back on it. They're saying if you had your vaccination, either the 1 dose of Johnson & Johnson or the 2 initial doses of either Moderna or Pfizer, that if you are now past your 7th month, you really need to consider the booster because those vaccines wean off. So again, there's not a lot of data out here to support it, and I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I'm reporting the news. So you have to really, you have to make up make up your mind yourself. Do you get the booster or not? Do you get the initial vaccine or not? I ask you to pray about it, speak with your physician, do your own background and research. And of course, we have this video from the CDC.
COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective at protecting you from COVID-19, especially severe illness and death. Vaccinated people are far less likely to be hospitalized or die because of COVID-19, including the Delta variant. COVID-19 has a much harder time spreading in a vaccinated population. When more people are vaccinated, we are all better protected against COVID-19. Even if you're young and healthy, it's still important to get vaccinated. Vaccines can help end this pandemic. To get the most protection, make sure you get all recommended doses of a COVID-19 vaccine. Getting vaccinated helps protect you and others from COVID-19.
Again, do what you believe is best for yourself. I cannot tell you to get it or not get it. But the Omicron and is out there now. I believe it's in majority of the states in the U.S. I was trying to look for the figures. I don't have them right in front of me. But the other thing we want to share, they're pushing that if you're not going to get vaccinated, make sure you are social distancing and wearing your mask. New York City, they now have an indoor mask mandate that went into effect on yesterday. And they want you to know about social distancing and also washing your hands. So we do have one more commercial we want to share. So stay tuned. And then we're going to come back. I'm going to bring Latrice Jones on here and we getting ready to dig deep. So hold on. It is so easy to think, oh, I'm not going to do that, but it could save a life. Real quick, ESPN is reporting that 2 Chicago Bulls games have been postponed due to COVID-19 outbreak. The first delay due to COVID-19 infections in this particular NBA season. Also, NFL, y'all. NFL had 37 positive COVID-19 tests on Monday. That was just yesterday, the most of this season. So y'all mask up, seriously. And we also have the flu out here as well. Y'all you have to do what's best for you. Again, I cannot tell you what to do, but we have to be aware and doing what we think is best. All right. Y'all, let's get started to the day. Again, if you decide I want to weigh in on that, we can pull up your chat. That's fine. So you can keep it in the chat. But if you want to weigh in on something, say, hey, let me do this. And then we'll send you the link and you can jump on. Just remember, no conspiracy theory and clean language. Judy Neal says everybody needs a break to relax and rejuvenate. Miss Gail and NIM team, enjoy the getaway and family and friends. Trust me, Judy Neal, I'm about to. Yes, I am. And I want all of y'all to do the same. Kim Edmondson says, seriously, the pandemic is not over. So let me bring in Latrice Jones. What's up, sis?
Hey.
Hey, you look so gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. It's the lighting.
All right, y'all. So here's the news. This is where we're going to dive in. And again, I've been digging into this for over a month. I want to start off with the January 6th committee. Now, hear me. All of you can follow everything there is about the January 6th committee by going to www.january, written out in this entirety, the number 6 th.house.gov. You can find everything you want to know right there. Seriously. So with that being said, there's a lot of subpoenas that jumped off on yesterday. A lot of them. Now, what I have in my hand, bam, this is from the January 6th White House Committee. And you can find these online as well on their site, the Gov site. Okay, now this subpoena is to Robert Bobby P. Jr. All right, now CNN is reporting the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riots at the U.S. Capitol issued 6 additional subpoenas on this past Friday, including one to the former aide to former President Donald Trump. I'm reading his name today because we have to keep the names in place. And current Ohio congressional candidate Max Miller. And that came from Lorain, Ohio. The target of the subpoena groups were involved in the planning of the rally on January the 5th and 6th, leading up to the violent attack. So those are happening. Now, I just want to read you a little bit about what's in here. It says, pursuant to the authority set forth in the House Resolution 503 and the rules of the House of Representatives, the Select Committee to investigate the January the 6th attack on the United States Capitol hereby transmits a subpoena that compels you to produce the documents set forth in the company schedule by December 23rd, 2021, and to appear before the deposition on January the 7th, 2022. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. That kind of like set off some other things. So Latrice, let's just jump in here. Let's talk about this. What do you think is happening and why now? Because it's getting hot in here. I can't finish the rest of that. So go ahead, tell us.
I feel like honestly it's a distraction because our president is under fire. I think
our president is what?
Our president is under fire.
Okay.
I think it's a distraction because his ratings are low. I don't think that his response has been real well with some of the other things. And, this whole voters' rights stuff is still rumbling down here. So I think that it's a distraction to get people to, focus on that. That's just what I think.
So it's okay. So I'm with you. I do think it's a distraction. But we are approaching January the 6th. So this is about to be one whole year. And shouldn't some of these people be in jail?
Let me see. How do I say this? They haven't been kissed by the sun. So that's why they're not in jail.
Well, let me go through some other lists and everybody in the chat weigh in. Not only do we have Robert Bobby P. Jr., we have Brian Jack. He's the director of political affairs for Trump. He reached out to several members of Congress on behalf of Trump to ask them to speak at a rally on January the 6th. We have that one. We also have Brian Lewis. He had a rally permit for outside the U.S. Capitol on January the 6th, and whose purpose was to urge Congress to invalidate electoral votes. I'm so with you, Latrice, as it being a distraction, but what's unfolding is like, whoa, how long have you known these things? These things are just crazy.
How long has who known these things?
How long when we know Congress, the people running the committee, it's like, aren't we in jeopardy or in trouble?
They known this stuff all along. This ain't new news. That's fake news that they just now finding out. They've been on this.
Right. Hold on, I keep going down the list. We have Ed Martin, an organizer with the Stop the Steal movement. He was involved in the financing of the January 6th rally. Then we have Kimberly Fletcher, who is tied to an organization entitled Moms for America, who helped organize the January the 5th rally at Freedom Plaza and then the January the 6th rally. So she kind of like did two rallies. And then we have, it says in a quote, excuse me, some of the witnesses were subpoenaed today. This was yesterday, apparently to work the stage, to stage the rally on January the 5th and 6th. So that was new for me. And they talked about the attacks. So we got to go a little bit further. Latrice is like, Go ahead, jump in.
So who was it up here? I was looking at the comments. I'm so glad I clicked the button to see the comments. Somebody said, Marion said, I believe things are heating up now because the former occupant has stated he will run again. Well, we knew that he was going to possibly try to run again if he wasn't impeached. Well, and now, since, Joe's not doing what he's supposed to do, if he did run again, he might actually win.
Yo, I like how Latrice got real comfortable about Joe.
They scared.
So then we have Pastor Antoinette says, don't forget Clarence Thomas' wife. She had buses. That is true. Kim Edmondson said they knew. That is true. Well, y'all, I'm getting ready to dig a little bit deeper. Now, what do I have in my hands here? This is Grassy. Did y'all know? And I'm going to read the quote. And he's now trying to backpedal, but it's too late. So, and this has all been validated. It's all been checked out. Good morning, Fred Jones. This has all been checked out. He's coming to us from YouTube. He says, and I'm gonna quote. He's the Senate pro tem, okay, which means if something happens, he would have been the person presiding over the electoral votes. Okay, now y'all, he's a Republican. Now this is not conspiracy. This is true. This is straight true. So Jeffrey Allen James says, Latrice, I rebuke that. I don't know.
Rebuke on. We need oil. Not
so
oil.
Listen to what Grassy says, y'all. This is what's all heating up. And I'm with you. Let me say this in all seriousness. I want to get silly too, but in all seriousness, if you all knew this stuff before now, there's a problem. And y'all, this is why we need to be mindful when we're voting. Like, what did you know? Who did you know? And who's in jeopardy? What's happening here? Because this stuff is unfolding. And the people, those of us who are reading it and researching it, we're not just stupid people. People who watch it on the news, we're not dumb people. So we have questions. So really, y'all, going into the primaries of 2022, we have two sides here. We have, and again, I don't care what side of the aisle you vote on. Y'all know I've voted Republican before, but I do my research. Now, that ain't a normal, common habit of mine, but I do that. But you have to think, what's the spin? What's the language? What's the reasoning? And where are the morals and values behind this? And what does it look like? So let me tell y'all what he says. Now, Senator Charles Grassley, he speaks on the Senate floor on March 2020. And he's talking about different things leading up to the 2020 elections. And so he goes on to say, as he was presiding over the U.S. Senate debate surrounding the disputes of the 2020 election results of Vice President Mike Pence does not show up. And people start asking, what do you mean if he doesn't show up? Why wouldn't he show up? So here's his quote. And this is in December. His quote says, well, first of all, I will be, if the vice president, this is his quote, if the vice president isn't there and we don't expect him to be there, I will be presiding over the Senate, according to the transcript of his remarks sent by his spokesperson. Grassley serves as the president pro tem of the Senate and will preside over any portion of the debate that Pence does not attend. How could he say that on January he said it in December, end of December 29th, and then on January the 5th? Well, why didn't you think Mike Pence would be there? Is that not interesting?
That sounds like some First 48 stuff. Sound like they were setting him up.
And y'all, I'm gonna put all the links in here for y'all to read it. Now, I can put the links in the thread on the Facebook post, but hear me. There's paywalls. So I can't get you around the paywalls. So if you want to go deeper, you will have to pay to see this, to see some of these articles. So we have that. Now, let me tell y'all what's false. This is so important. There's some spin out there saying that Pence, people are connecting Pence's refusal to get into a car with Grassley presiding over the vote. This is false. I want y'all to hear this, y'all. This is false. Now, here's the true story based upon all this research that I conducted. Pence would not get into the car after being led to an office, which in the Senate, the Senate chambers, after presiding over the Electoral College votes. Now, he wasn't doing that for fear that people would associate him with vindicating the rioters. So when he was telling his Secret Service he was not getting in the car, it wasn't on his way to the Capitol. It was once the riot started. So y'all, please squash that. If you're out there posting that, put an update on there saying after further review and examining of this, and there's many links out there that will take you to the true stories, Business Insider, Politico, NPR, Associated Press, PBS. There's those out there that will give you the facts behind that. So let me just read this to you. Pence twice refused to evacuate the Capitol building on January the 6th because he was concerned that the sight of his motorcade leaving could vindicate the rioters. Pence was with his wife, Karen, his daughter, Charlotte, and his brother, Representative Greg Pence. They had been removed from the Senate chambers because of the breach at the Capitol. Tim Geibels, the lead special agent in charge of Vice President's protective detail, twice asked Pence to evacuate the Capitol, but Pence refused. Pence reportedly told Tim, his lead agent, "I'm not leaving the Capitol." He was concerned that his 20-car motorcade leaving would vindicate their insurrection. Geibels then asked Pence to evacuate a third time, but it was more in the order of a request, as the agent believed Pence and his family were no longer safe where they were. They were evacuated down a staircase to an underground area of the Capitol. Pence's limousine was waiting for them, but he refused to get in it. People are tying that to saying he refused to get in it to go to the Capitol. That is not correct. He did not want to get in the car to leave the Capitol for fear that it would vindicate the rioters. Okay. So y'all, let's get that story straight. People's trying to tie the two in, and I'm not slamming anybody, but there's some major news sources that have used it the opposite way. That is not the truth. This is why you check it out. So, Latrice, let's go to Junior. Junior in the news as of last night, y'all. Junior is the one that's on these text messages to Mark Meadows. Look at Latrice. She's like, no. Junior's on the text messages at the January 6th committee. And again, y'all can check out all of this yourself. There's a January 6th committee website. It's January the 6th, spelled out, the number 6th.house.gov. So Junior, let me see. Jeffrey Allen James, I believe Pence had a come to Jesus moment. Listen, Jeffrey, you're not far, because when I was reading this, I was like, Pence finally had a discernment. He's like, I'm not going to do that. So, yes, Saturday Night Live is going to be so good this week. So, Latrice, Mark Meadows had a ton of text messages from Don Jr. telling him things such as, let me go there so I can read them. Y'all should really read the transcript from last night with Liz Cheney. It's off the chain. Here's some of the text messages. It says, Mr. Meadows received numerous text messages which he had produced without any privilege claim. One text message Mr. Meadows received said, quote, "We are under siege up here at the Capitol." Another text message he received says, "Listen, they have breached the Capitol." Another text message says, "Mark, protesters are literally storming the Capitol, breaking windows on doors, rushing in. Is Trump going to say something?" A fourth text message, there's an armed standoff at the House chamber door. Another text message, and another from someone inside the Capitol, "We are all helpless." Now, he was getting dozens of text messages. And then somebody said, "Mark, somebody's going to get killed." Mark says, "I'm trying." He's not listening. A third one in all caps says, "Tell him to tell them to go home." A fourth says, "Pontius needs to calm this down." And then it goes on and on and on. So then we get to Junior. He says, he's got to condemn this ASAP. The Capitol Police tweet is not enough. Junior then says, "You need to tell my dad to stop." Mark responds and says, "I agree, I'm trying to." But the president didn't act immediately. Trump Jr. texts again and again, urging action by the president. He says, quote, "We need an Oval Office address. He has to lead now. This has now gone too far and have gotten out of hand," end quote. But hours passed, 187 minutes to be exact, before the president said anything. So, Latrice, here's my first question. Do you remember the video that was going around with Trump, his son, and his son's girlfriend under the tent while they were watching the insurrection?
I don't recall.
All right.
After
Anybody in the chat remembers that? Go ahead, Latrice.
Was that after he had gave his speech and was addressing them and all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in the tent. They were actually watching it.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
So we have that. And I'm with you, Pastor Antoinette. Why isn't Junior calling his dad directly?
I was going to say that. Thank you, Pastor Antoinette. Because, yeah. Why are you asking somebody? If my mom, and y'all know my mom, is out somewhere turning up, I'm not going to ask somebody that's with her to, will you tell her to stop? No, I'm going to call her or I'm going to show up on the scene. I will have to go get my mother. But that's just a bunch of baloney. I think he was doing that to save face as well, Junior.
Yeah, it's crazy. So y'all, here's a question that Liz Cheney asked in the chambers last night. She says, did Donald Trump, through action or inaction, corruptly seek to obstruct or impede Congress's official proceeding to count electoral votes? Y'all weigh in, and Latrice, I want to hear from you. Yes or no?
They asked that question for real?
Yeah, Liz Cheney asked it in the chambers last night.
Yeah, yes, he did. It's not even a question. Yes, he did.
And why? Talk about it. Talk about it.
Did he intentionally? He didn't want the votes to go through. He knew he was getting evicted. Bye-bye. Pack it. What was we saying before? Pack it up, Buttercup. He knew that he was getting evicted. So, I mean, I'm just over the foolishness.
It's very tiring. And here's my question. It's very tiring. And here's my question, y'all, for real. Again, I don't care what side of the aisle you on. I don't care if this would have been my forever president. If this would have happened, at some point, I'm like, no, you messed up, dude. You messed up. This was wrong. And we would have to deal with it. Well, it wouldn't even be here. They would be in jail by now. So regardless, so even as we're going into the 2022 elections, I want y'all to hear this. We need to be intentional about doing our research about the people we are voting for and why. We need to do our research. Here's another question I've asked myself. Why wasn't then President Trump, after what happened, why wasn't he in the bunker? Because now, hold on. He went to the bunker June 2020 during the protest after the murder of George Floyd.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. CNN. As protesters gathered outside the White House Friday night, this was dealing with after the murder of George Floyd in Washington, D.C., President Trump was briefly taken to the underground bunker for a period of time, according to White House officials and a law enforcement source. The president was there for a little under an hour before being brought upstairs. Law enforcement sources and other sources familiar with the matter told CNN that First Lady Melania Trump and their son Barron were also taken to the bunker.
So they were afraid of that, but not afraid of the.
And that's my question. That's my question.
So
where am I going? Say that again, Latrice.
I was going to say the demographics of the two groups, the causes of the two groups, the background of the two groups.
And that's why we are where we are today. And it's not about division, people. It's about, okay, here we're seeing this unfold in front of us. We're going into a major election. Y'all may want to say it's just a primary, but hear me. It's a major election next year, 2022. You heard Latrice, and that was a great opening, Latrice, and I did not prompt her to say any of that. We have someone whose numbers have plummeted. Even, I watched him the other day and I'm like, you going to fall asleep? Are you talking to? What's happening? We don't know. And people keep asking him, is he going to run again? It don't look like it. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I can sit here and name, and I won't, but I can sit here and name some great people to run as a president from the GOP side. I can sit here and name some great people to run for president on the Democratic side. So we don't know, but it's time for all this other fluff to go away so that the people can rise up. We talked last week about running for office. Here's your opportunity to consider that. It is not too late to run for office. We have to determine What's important? What's important? How are we going to vote? How are we going to choose? And I would suggest, and here's my inspirational message, that we start praying about it today, right now.
Mhm.
Asking God to raise up people who can actually lead. I see what's happening in New York. They don't care. No, you're going to wear some mask. If you're coming up in here, we're going to check you. When you come in, you're going to check your vaccination card when you come into a restaurant. That's leading. Now, people are going to push back and people aren't going to like it, but that is leading.
Mhm.
There's so much, there's so many questions. And going back to what Latrice said earlier, why now? Okay, we got to start identifying the distractions. Even in our lives, when I'm talking about the inspirational message, even in our lives, we have to identify the distractions. What's distracting us in a season where we're ready to be propelled forward and to go forward? I was telling you earlier, and I was giving Christina a shout out and her mom for tuning in out of New York. Y'all, this girl is bad. I met her in another group. We started talking. She said, "Yep, y'all know I have needs going in with News in Motion going into 2022." This young lady is phenomenal, and I can already see the work that she's doing. So she's going to be handling a certain portion of my brand of News in Motion and things like that when it comes to social media and other things. The girl is the bomb. The girl is bad. Let me just say that. But hear me. It's like, okay, how am I going to make this happen? Well, I got to look forward and say, okay, God, I trust you. You know, I'm talking about Jesus every day on here that we're on here, but it comes back, do I trust him or not? And I choose to trust him. And I know everything's going to work out. When I take this break and come back, I already discern that it's going to propel us and launch us into something even greater. But that's not just for me, that's for all of you. We shared this January the 6th. I did this on purpose today because I want us to start thinking and realizing and understanding where we are. This is all before us. We can complain about it, or we can start writing our elected officials. We can start contacting them. We can start raising up other people. You know, if we are intentional, and hear me, y'all, hear me. I'm no rebel. At least I don't think I might be. If we are intentional as voters and become educated voters, those chambers in DC can look completely different in 10, 20 years from now. Now, the question is completely different how?
Mhm.
Seriously, y'all. We have to get back to legislation. We have to get back to nonpartisan. We have to get back to seeing bills passed that will benefit all of us, not a select few. Food insecurity is still on the rise. Homelessness is still on the rise. Yes, even in the midst of a great resignation of 4.4 million people out of jobs, and I believe that number is higher now as well. We have work to do. So we can either get exhausted and say, I'm done, or we can say, okay, let me take a couple week break, but let me come back in. Let me strategize. Y'all, when I talk about the News in Motion ambassadors, that's for us to strategize and to work, not as an island, but with other people to see how we can widen this voter education so that people can get registered to vote and understand vote, not telling them who to vote for, but to understand this. All right, y'all, I see we are way over time. I'm so sorry. Latrice Jones, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Y'all, this was last minute. She got a text message, 5 something this morning? I got this idea when you jump on here. And she was like, yeah. So I'm just glad. And y'all, in the future, y'all need to be ready to come in here because, hey, you all are the voices. What you say, Latrice?
Yes. Don't be leaving me out here. Kim Edmondson, Mike Nicholson. Everybody was talking about, go ahead, bring it to y'all. Better get on here. I'm gonna start. Let me text y'all right now. I'm pulling up everybody's number.
Right, because and what's true, y'all, we are the voices. Yeah. We are the voices. Y'all, so much is coming 2022. Tomorrow, you don't want to miss tomorrow. We have a R&B singer who's going to be on here tomorrow. We're going to be doing some Christmas caroling as well. And I'm going to break down. Let's get our voices
ready.
together. I will come back and break down some of the philanthropy things for you as well. This person is also premiered on a movie as well. So tomorrow is just going to be fun. And then Thursday, just hold on. Thursday is going to be a blast. We're going to end the year in a blast. So just stay tuned for that. But y'all know what I say. Everybody stay well. You got to stay well. We have hit 800,000 deaths right here in the US. Y'all, and remember, make some bold moves.